in Hartford Hospital 2022 when I checked into the ICU with sepsis from the infection in my womb from the surgery, the transplant. And I remember blacking out, but when I woke up in an observation room, which was a little tiny room. And in the corner was like a little bubble where somebody was a little nurse station where they could absorb me. And there was even curtains that didn't allow me to see into the observation room. And there was no bathroom in that little room. It's kind of like a weird room. I don't know if anybody that works in ICU knows what that is, but there is a room that looks like that, and I was in that room, and across the hall from that room was a nurse's station. It was the end of the hallway. I remember that, and there was a nurse working the floor, and then there was like a supervising nurse that was just floating around, a cocky young 40-something-year-old young Irish last name, Michael M. It was like McLaughlin, Michael something like that. So like I remember waking up in that room, and I had gone to the bathroom, like, you know, I had blacked out. I woke up, so I defecated on myself, and so I was screaming for the nurses to come clean me up. And like I said, I remember before that I was trying to get to a bathroom, but there was no bathroom there, and then eventually I had to just poop on myself, which really irritated me, and that's when I got loud. And I remember just getting loud, trying to get nurses' attention, very frustrated, and ghetto part of me came out, and I started just popping off for sure. And I'm very articulate when I get angry, and so the nurse called the supervisor to come get me and do something about it, because the nurse, which I didn't know, now I remember, this is the middle of COVID, so the nurse came and she explained, or he explained, I'm sorry, we were tending to somebody, there was another patient that just died. So, and then I'm sitting in my poop, and I said, oh shoot, I'm sorry now. You know what I mean? But then the guy gets all like tit for tat, and then closes the little shade toward my room. Now I'm getting no attention. Then I'm sitting in the poop. Then in comes the Michael M. Michael M hits me what he called Haldol in my neck. He says, I'll quiet him down. And he hits me with Haldol in my neck, and I was begging him when I saw that needle, oh, please don't do that, please, please, I'll be quiet, I'll sit in my poop. Bam, it hit me in the neck. So I got pissed. So now I'm MFing him for doing that to me, and I'm just screaming, I'm pissed. And the nurse is kind of like scared on the side. She kind of just wants to clean me by this point now. So Michael turns around, because I'm popping off, pissed him off. He goes, I got something for him. He goes in, I hear him say Tramadol. That's an opiate. I made a huge promise to my son years ago. Man, when he came with that needle, I said, begged him out. I don't know what else I could. I said, I promise, please, anything, please don't do that. And he just heartlessly poked me in the neck with it. Oh, needless to say, MMA in me came out, and Mick Boo kicked that doctor on the side of his temple. Neck with it. Oh, needless to say, MMA in me came out, and Mick Boo kicked that doctor on the side of his temple. Then next thing you know, him and the little nurse was trying to strap my arm, and I didn't want to hurt the little nurse, so I let her overpower my right arm, which left me just fighting the doctor with my left arm and screaming, help, help, help. I'm sure there was probably videotapes and all that stuff that came out of that room on that day that they, well, I think they covered everything. I know that my medical records don't even reflect I was there. But these things happen, and they can be proven because I got a picture that says I was there. But when that second shot of Tramadol came, and I'm scrapping with the doctor, and he's just went psycho. He's just grabbed me by the hair, and he put his fist to my jaw, and he said he was going to break my jaw. And I said, listen, my name is Mickey, I'm from Willimantic, and I promise you I'll be back, but go ahead and break it. And that's word to everything I love, because this is how I roll. And so he just like shook me up a little bit and all that, and the nurse is screaming, freaking out. So little by little, of course, the injections start to cut into me, and I start because I'm screaming at him saying, "You're not the man. I'll be back. You're not the man. I promise you." And he's like, "Yeah." He starts talking to me like, "Yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man." And so he starts talking like, sounded like he was black or Puerto Rican, talking like, sounded like he was black or Puerto Rican, whatever he was trying to be. So then he points what was left of the tramadol and the needle. He had a full syringe, and he injected about half. So about a half or a quarter of it, he just pushed it and squirted it into my face, yo. And I'm just pissed. He injected me twice, squirted it in the thing. The nurse says, "What should I do? Should I clean him up?" And he squirted me in the face with it, and he tells her, "Let him sit in his shit." And I start fading. I remember fading. I was like, "Oh shit." And I felt like, "Oh, I think I'm going out." So I looked at him. I said, "I guess you are the man." And he says, "Yeah, I'm the man." And that's when last thing I remember before I woke up in the shadow world. And I write about it in my book. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Help me expose this.